Right. So, any permanent damage like that?
Has he had kids?
What was the report after that?
Oh my god. Oh,
Straight for an ice pack. Oh gosh.
he didn't have to more than a second. It's all right.
Oh, there's eyes watering all around the world listening to that story.
Yes.
He whips it leg side. We've got some coverage there now because it's up to the fourth over. So the new rules in the Big Bash, 4 overs for the power play, where you can only have 2 fielders outside the inner circle. No longer 6 overs. Those extra 2 overs are used at the batting team's discretion in the second half of their innings. It's called a power surge.
he's been excellent, Nathan Ellis. So good for the Hobart Hurricanes. We kind of saw a glimpse last year, didn't we? But this year he's taken his game up to another level, and he bowls the difficult overs. He bowls, you know, sometimes in the power surge at the death as well. And in the last 2 games, he's picked up 5 wickets, a 3 for, a 2 for. See, there is, throughout this whole BBL campaign, he's picked up a wicket every match.
And he's just so likeable, isn't he? We've all documented it strongly, his story about trying to fulfil his cricketing dream down in Tassie. I think we've all been so impressed with how hard he tries, his effort.
Great try, I loved him.
All the mums out there don't love him enough. During COVID, as soon as lockdown came, he flew straight from Tassie to Sydney to spend the lockdown with his mum. Get in around family. Everyone says, see, don't you love him?
And I think his fiance's over in England, and I haven't really spent any time together. Wow. Because obviously
the world's blocked off.
So
Nathan Ellis. He has stopped the rot for the Hurricanes. Good over, only 2 off it. They can make that 3. So he stops a run of expensive overs, only concedes 3. 5 overs, no wicket for 51. 10.2 and over at the moment for the Sydney Thunder, with Khawaja going at 200. Wonderful start for the Sydney Thunder. No wicket for 51 after 5, with Usman Khawaja striking at 200, and Hales is playing the support role, striking at 126.7. No Daniel Sams playing for the Sydney Thunder due to concussion. He's been good enough to join us and put the headset on. Daniel, thanks for joining us. How's the concussion recovery?
Yeah, it's going all right. It's one of those things. It is what it is. Follow the protocols. So just in the second part of what I need to do. So I'll have to do some running after this game today and see how we go.
So it's more of a precaution at the moment?
Yeah, I'm feeling all right. I mean, we just have to follow the protocols. Obviously, it's a pretty important thing for the brain. So it's better to kind of be on the safer side.
We just watched the incident at the moment there. It was a big blow.
Yeah, it did rock me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, the second one in a short period of time. So yeah, like we said, bit of precaution. Just look after it.
You actually heard, we could hear on the coverage that you actually said not again. So obviously got hit batting in the nets or in a match, in the Shield match or something?
No, it was against the Renegades, our first game against the Renegades. I think Richo got me pretty much exactly the same thing. So same spot. So yeah, just looking after it.
The thing about it though, Daniel, is you kept batting and you were batting superbly.
Yeah, I guess I didn't feel it because of the adrenaline. I was just kind of thinking about the role that I had to do. So as soon as I got back in the sheds and kind of calmed down a bit, that's when the kind of blurry vision and things like that started setting in.
So you had a couple of pretty tough days after that?
Yeah, well, I was pretty lucky actually. That night it wasn't great, but I woke up feeling not too bad. So it's been a mild one, if I'm able to say that. It's kind of a guess, but the symptoms haven't been too bad for me.
Well, we need to look after yourself, and I'll tell you what, you'll be pleased with what you're seeing at the moment on the field. They're a great opening pair.
Yeah, these guys are awesome. It's always great watching these two bat together. The longer they can be out there, obviously the better for us.
Must be really pleased the way you're batting at the moment. We know your bowling last season was outstanding with the golden arm. Pleased the way you're batting?
Yeah, 100%. In the end, I've got a role to do with the bat. Obviously, I didn't have the best time with it last year, so I've spent a bit of work on my batting, particularly over in the IPL with Ricky, which has really been helpful for me. So I'm really happy that I've been able to put that into place here for the Thunder.
Rest up, mate. The Big Bash needs you out there, so good luck with the recovery.
Thanks very much. Thanks, guys.
Great to have Daniel Sams on the microphone. Just joining us, recovering. Sunday Lamashane. Appeal leg side. End of the over from the Nepalese leg spinner. 6 off. And no wicket for 57. So Lamashane concedes 6 off his first over. So for the Hobart Hurricanes, they've restricted Sydney Thunder to 9 off the last 2 overs, which is a good recovery considering the rate they were going at before that. X-Factor players Mac Wright, David Moody, Chris Tremaine and Ollie Davies. He might be one that they consider, but they're batting first, so it's hard. The Sydney Thunder have not used an X-Factor throughout the entire tournament.
Well, and they're sitting pretty at top of the table as well, so from their point of view, I think they want to keep selection exactly the same, and the 11 that they have, they trust in them to do well, and it has been working for them. But yeah, I can't see any of the teams using their X factors.
Darcy Short into the attack.
It's interesting. Darcy's going to try to maybe get that Chinaman, is it, or the Googly going away from the right-hander.
Plays his Shield cricket over in Western Australia. Darcy Short, born in the Northern Territory, so he'll know the conditions. He'll be used to the conditions. What can he do here? Well, he gets away with a full toss.
I do love the by-play that we see out there in T20 domestic competitions. You don't normally see that much conversation happening on international stage.
You heard he couldn't do it again in reference to one of the most amazing catches we've seen against the Brisbane Heat.
He wasn't far off.
He nearly did.
He's got his wrist. And you can see there, I think Darcy Short, just because the first two deliveries were full tosses, he actually bowled a little bit deeper, closer to the stumps, because he wasn't landing it. Sometimes you can make those changes.
Alex Hales with his traditional shot. It's a long way out there, and that's the problem. He couldn't get it out there. And Darcy Short takes a big wicket, and it's Alex Hales who just couldn't get it going today.
Yeah, good catch by Nathan Ellis, and hit the bottom of the bat here, stretching. Huge boundary, we talked about it. Those pockets on the ground, but when they're in the air, the fieldsman gets underneath it. That's Nathan Ellis. And that's the back of Alex Hales. Hobart Hurricanes love this. Gone for 21 and 19. Cord Ellis bowled short. The Thunder 1 for 59.
Callum Ferguson's been one of the players of the tournament. He'll have his eye on the golden cap that Ben McDermott's wearing at the moment. Scores of 54, 61 not out, 31, 51, 35 amongst his lot. So yet again, another good season.
He just knows his role, doesn't he? He comes in. I think it actually works quite well. Usman and Callum Ferguson, very similar players.
Oh, no.
Usman Khawaja, and just short. Nick Winter has dived at that. The replay will tell us whether he got a hand on it. Usman said, oh no, straight away.
Oh, no.
Oh, just short.
He tried to keep that down, and it probably just bounced a little bit more
Wait. Nice hand.
than what he was expecting, and that's why he got himself in trouble. That's a great effort there by Nathan Ellis, and I reckon he's hurt himself as well.
He will shrug it off, but that hurt it. That has stung.
And there was also overthrows as well, so it's all happening out there. 1 for 65.
Lofts him. And out. Labashane gets a wicket. Johan Botha takes a catch right on the line. And Ferguson misses out today.
Not the best shot too early, and Labashane has been giving trouble. He's been bowling well. That one tossed up and pretty much there. I don't know, it looked like he wanted to get that into the gap, that mid-wicket area, but just found a man right on the mid-on fence, and that's the end of Callum Ferguson. And Sydney Tundon a little bit of trouble too for 67. Callum Ferguson gone for 1.
Big breakthrough with Callum Ferguson missing out. Scores 1. Sam Billings will join Usman Khawaja, who's 43 not out and has batted superbly. Thunder losing 2 for 8. Callum Ferguson missing out today, and he's scoring 1 off 3 deliveries. Caught on the boundary by Johan Botha of Sandeep Labashane, the Nepalese leg spinner.
Yes.
At least the other great thing about him is what a character he is. He's always got a smile on his face, and He looks like he's just living his boyhood dream, travelling the world playing cricket.
Yeah, he absolutely is. But he also knows the impact that he's having back home, and obviously the ground staff in the main cricket ground in Nepal, he actually was paying.
What a day and night of cricket. SCG, day one of the third test, into Sydney Thunder versus Hobart Hurricanes, into the Brisbane Heat versus the Melbourne Stars. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Going to be compelling viewing. Marcus Stoinis is now in really good touch. Chris Lynn, Joe Burns for the Brisbane Heat, and adding Glenn Maxwell. So that's going to be a great game coming up next. Sam Billings and Usman Khawaja in action at the moment. Partnership in the early phase after Hales was removed. And then Ferguson as well. So 2 wickets in the last 2 overs for the Hobart Hurricanes as they fight their way back into this game.
And what I've seen a lot, that teams have been losing wickets in consecutive overs, and not just 2. Like it happened in another over, and even like a 4-over spell where they've just lost 4 wickets. So hopefully they can do a little bit of consolidation and get things right. The spinners have come on and pick up a couple of wickets, both Short and Lamachani.
So much chit-chat. But we even saw last night, Lloyd Pope coming in. So spinners have actually been really effective, just taking the pace off on a pitch that normally likes a bit of pace and bounce. Good wrong. And they had that slip in for that delivery as well. But obviously the back end of the over just tried to defend a little bit more, given that only 2 runs has come off this over.
It's such a good over though, because I think they've played a shot nearly every single ball other than this one, looking to
just taking the pace off.
too much spin, taking the lead in action, going straight back to Darcy Short. And that's the end of Sam Billings. Didn't last very long, just 5 balls, gone for 1, and the Thunder out 3 for 71 after 9.
So 3 for 71 in the last 3 overs. The Sydney Thunder have lost wickets, so they were none for 51, none for 57 after 6 overs. And then the 7th over they captured a wicket, 8th and now 9th, and the fight back is significant. So Alex Ross, who hurt a hamstring in game 2 from memory, so he's been on the sidelines since then. He's now back and in full fitness and ready to join Uzi Khawaja, who, at least while all this has been going on, he's batting beautifully. He just needs someone to stay with him.
Yeah, he is, and we do see this, don't we, in the game. That's why coaching staff always say to stay in the contest as long as possible, because if you can pick up one, there's a flow of wickets that fall.
So Scott Boland back into the attack after being expensive in his first over. Like a lot of the Hobart Hurricanes bowlers were early. They conceded 48 off the first 4 overs without any wickets from the Sydney Thunder, who got off to a fly with Hales and Khawaja until Hales was dismissed for 21. And then since then, the Hobart Hurricanes, through spin of Labashane and also Darcy Short, capturing Ferguson and Billings both for 1, have fought back. So it's 3 for 71.
Yes.
They're in the 10th over, and Usman Khawaja looks in really good nick. He just needs to go to the next step, because we've seen him a few times in this tournament get to this position, but just not go on with it with a big one.
Peter Hanscom would have had a little bit of a decision to make if to Karen with the spin of Lamachani. The spinners have done the damage. He held him back and brought back Boland, and an opportunity for Boland just to recover from that first over that he bowled. Keep the pressure on. Yes, a new batsman. Maybe even Usman will be thinking differently, maybe trying to get his 50th first of all and set himself up for later on.
And that's called playing inside the line. Well left.
Way inside.
Way inside. It was almost like he was a little bit late to it all and just picked it up and went, oh yeah, okay.
But you do get in line when you use your feet. I didn't see much foot movement there.
So Alex Ross, the sweet bowler, just gets off the mark.
Even that one, there was no real effort to try and get any kind of weight transfer towards the line of the ball. It was just plant the foot and let me try and find it, and not with any authority as well. He's just feeling his way back into the game, having been out for a number of matches.
Right.
So now so much on the shoulders of Usman Khawaja. up to 10 overs. Brad Hodge joins us in commentary, and Hodgie, Hales and Khawaja got off to a good start, and then all has fallen apart.
Yeah, they did. They were off to a great start, weren't they? Alex Hales wasn't at his dynamic best, but it's the introduction of spin, of which we've seen so many times in T20 cricket, and Darcy Short, hasn't he had an impact? 2 for 10, nearly took an absolute blinder as well again. Loves that one-handed chance. There we go. There's the Sydney Thunder. A couple of back-to-back wickets. Big wickets too, Ferguson and Billings. Alex Ross back into the side, which I'm a little bit surprised about, I must admit.
Well, just trying to get some games into the sweet bolligers now. Also, news, Hobart Hurricanes have decided to use an X-Factor. And Johan Botha has been subbed out of the game and replaced by Mac Wright. So
it's happened before.
Yeah.
It was the first run for Hobart Hurricanes, and it seems to be a plan, which I think it's there. It's a new ruling. It's a new part of the game. You should try to use it as much as possible for your benefit. And some teams, as you've seen, haven't done it, but it seems to be like a trend. And Mac Wright is in for Johan Botha.
So Darcy Short continues. We'll chat to Shane Bond, the coach.
All games into Ollie, but as we head into the back end of the season, into the best of season, it's nice to have someone of Alex's experience.
Oh, that's a big wicket. Shane Usman Khawaja's gone, and Darcy Short, the spinners, are having a huge impact in this game.
Well, that's the coach's curse, isn't it? Jumping on the microphone and lose a wicket after the break. You really do need, as a top order player, to get yourself back in. How many times do we see it, a wicket in this 11th over just after the break? Usman Khawaja batted well for his 49. 4 for 76.
So Arjun Nair comes up, and he will join Alex Ross. So he's been promoted up the order from 9 to 6. Some sort of a partnership is required here for the Thunder.
Yeah. What do you reckon?
Arjun Nair back into the lineup for the Sydney Thunder, and been promoted up to 6, up ahead of Ben Cutting. And he joins Alex Ross. Shane Bond on the microphone. Sorry about that, Bondy. We're giving that coach's curse.
Yeah, don't make it happen again.
We promise we won't. Changing the batting lineup here with Arjun going up.
Yeah, Arjun's a good player of spin, and he's a busy player. And I think for us, with the surge still to come later on, we've still got Ben, Nathan and Chris, so I think it's important that we leave them for a little bit later, and hopefully Arjun can do his thing. He's a very good player.
Well, that's a shank from Judy. Anyway, that's one of the things which I think has been really impressive from your Sydney Thunder squad, Bondi, is the depth. Arjun Nair could potentially play in your top 4. That's how good he is with the bat. He's versatile, he's a good runner between the wickets, and a good player as spin, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I think so. I think we've got good cover and a lot of all-rounders in our team. So obviously the Hurricanes have used their X-Factor today to bring in the batting depth to chase, which is it's a good move. For us. This is hard work, Big.
Funny, we had Adam Voges on last night, and when he was on, Perth took about 3 for 2. You were having the opposite effect.
They'll bring me on when we're in the bowling innings. If we get 3 for 2, I'll be happy with that. Yeah, look, and we've got all-rounders, so the X-Factor really hasn't factored for us. We've got a long batting order, we've got bowling options, so we haven't really had to use it. And then we can just use the flexibility in our lineup and sort of leave our hitters later as we can.
So So Arjanair and Ross at the moment. So Darcy's short out and Sandeep Labishane about to bowl. And Shane, that's why you're one of only 2 clubs that haven't used the X Factor at all yet. That's your philosophy.
Yeah, I think it's just the balance of our team. We just haven't had to use it. If we got into a position like we had the other day where we've had an injury, we've seen injuries with some players, and really our covers for an injury replacement. So, yeah, I think the guys quite like coming in and knowing that they're going to play. And as you said, it just provides that continuity for the captain as well. And we just haven't had to make that decision. Haven't felt like we had to make it so far.
Bondi, can you just give an update on Daniel Sams? It's a big loss out of this lineup.
Yeah, look, he's passed all the baseline tests coming off that head knock. He's been fine. I think he's a little bit frustrated that he's not playing. But from my perspective and the doctor's perspective, it's not so much how he feels as if he got another head knock right now and came out today, then that would cause some problems. So the advice is to leave him for the next couple of games. And I think around the concussion stuff, that's smart. So, look, we're happy to follow the doctor's advice. So he won't play until after the Scorchers game.
And your batting expertise, mate, did you just tell him to make sure if you're going to take it on, make sure you hit it?
Just hit it straight, mate, at 60 metres, just hit it over the side screen.
Shane, good luck tonight. 4 for 82 at the moment in the 12th over. A bit of work to do.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully it goes better when I come back on next time, maybe. Thank
you,
guys.
Good on you, mate. Thanks for your time.
No.
So this partnership just early on, when will they utilise the power surge is going to be another consideration for this pair, or do they wait for Ben Cutting to be out in the middle, and he looks the perfect player for it.
Spinning.
As the sweepologist goes at his work.
Yeah, this is what he's good at, Richo, isn't it? It's a different form of skill, Brian, the way he goes about his work, just sweeps and reverses. But it's effective in this comp. It's effective around the world. If you go, he's been to a few other comps and done it.
Okay. Over the top. They thought they were a catching chance. Tim David doing the sweeping work and rounds out the over. So 12 overs complete, and it's 4 for 85, 6 off the over. Ben Cutting, the big hitting Ben Cutting, Nathan McAndrew and Chris Green in particular will have certainly a big factor into this game later on, especially when the power surge comes on.
Yes, mate. Nice.
So last over for Darcy Short with the sweet figures of 3 for.
Okay, if you're in trouble and you're 3 for 40 or 3, maybe a Brian Lara on the X Factor to come in and float. The coaches and squads will develop to make sure that.
It's a big shot, stepping away and getting over deep mid-wicket, but it's the first boundary in about 34 deliveries.
It's a
desperate shot, isn't it, Brian? It's a good shot. He's hit the ball in the middle of the bat, but if he didn't get it in the middle, he's going to hole out the deep mid-wicket there. Didn't quite look like he was really in control of that at all.
Face expression just thought thought he might have held out.
Maybe the doctor just snuck in.
Hard to get in. Hard for the doctor to get into that stadium.
It's given a wide there. Just thought they may have just clipped the pad, but no. So an extra ball for Darcy Short. Chance for a fourfer. That's the way you got to look at it. Opportunity. What a different perspective that stadium looks from now till last night when it was bathed in orange. It's a nightmare when you travel to Perth. You just know you're up against a side like that and a crowd like that. It's another good over. Good finish from Darcy Short. 4 for 96.
So Darcy Short finishes his spell 3 for 26 off his 4 overs. Brilliantly bowled. Concedes 11 off his last over. That'll sting a touch, courtesy of the first 6 of the match. So this partnership's 20 off 16. So 10 and over, 166 from here. I'll have an eyes on, I think the winning score here is around the 186 mark, 180 plus mark. So they need a really big next 7 overs. Brad Hodge, you'd be a pretty proud Victorian. We saw a wonderful test debut by Victorian batsman Will Pekoski today.
It's good, wasn't it?
Yeah, looks a terrific young player.
Certainly, he's elegant. He's graceful. Got plenty of time. He was nervous, as like any player would be on their debut. Got a couple of chances, but took the most of it. Good on him. It's going to be great to watch a Victorian play some Test cricket for a while, which I'm excited about.
What did you score on debut?
60.
6-0.
Yeah. Robbed by Steve Bucknor, believe it or not. Hit on the thigh pad, got given out. Corey Collymore was, from memory,
Out. That's all I'd say. Out.
Way too high. I would have taken DRS and survived.
Anybody under 5'7" would be out.
Let's have a quick look at this discussion here that's going on. Arjun there doesn't know anything about it.
Well, they're going to have a look to see if he's hit wicket.
Copy.
So, got a legal delivery.
Fair delivery. Can we move on to your side-on angle here so I can see whether the batsman has made contact with the stumps anyway?
Is McDermott serious that he's appealed for that or what? I mean, that's ridiculous.
Can we just go through that back a few frames, just have a closer look?
And how's this taking any time whatsoever?
Ben McDermott's just asked.
Satisfied? My decision is going to the big screen.
I'm confused by what's happening there.
So Ben McDermott's just saying he didn't realise that his gloves have knocked it off, but Hodgie, you're not giving him the benefit of the doubt for that.
No chance.
Oh.
In fact, that's what he should be worried about. Taking the opportunity for a stumping. It's all happening out there. Bowled that from a long way back. Sundeep. It's really hard to take the ball when it goes between the legs. Tell you what, if I was Junie, I'd be just having a little word to him. I forgot to whip him off there, did you?
It's been good bowling by Lamachan. It's been good bowling by the 2 spinners. I felt that they definitely pushed back the Cindy Thunders, and between them, all 4 wickets to have fallen.
We saw that in yesterday's game on this exact stadium. First innings, only 4 wickets fell, and they were all to the spinners, Steve O'Keefe and Lloyd Pope. But then the Perth Scorchers were bowling back of a length at speed at night, and they went through the Sydney Sixers. That's a terrific shot from Arjun Nair down the ground. Into the over. 8 off the over. It's 4 for 104. So run rate at 7.43. It was at 10 and over after 5. It's been a terrific bowling fight back from the Hobart Hurricanes. At one stage the run rate was over 10. Halfway, or at the 5 over mark, it was over 10, and they've dragged it back. Good bowling, back to 7.43.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Richo, very good bowling, especially with Riley Meredith not being there as well. He's a huge out for this Hobart team.
Nathan Ellis comes into the attack, and Ross places that beautifully. Dissects the two fieldsmen, runs away for 4.
Strong zone that for Alex Ross. Got really quick hands, watches the ball late onto the bat. Give himself a little bit of room to be able to access that third man area. I don't know too many times where you don't have a third man at Perth. So much pace and bounce, it's going to fly down there more often than not. And I know the reason why it's not there. He would have set up 3 on the leg side where Ross is particularly strong, but also used to that out the back of the hand slow ball, which Ellis has got, which is pretty good. Now you see fine leg back deep square. Mid-wicket. Person there at mid-wicket probably needs to come in and save the single. It's one of the things that I think in T20 we get wrong often than not, where the player just sits back. It's just a good opportunity for a dot ball and build to scoreboard pressure.
Yeah, most definitely. So Riley Meredith's missing, and the fast bowlers dominated the attack for the Hobart Hurricanes. They got 41 in the first 50 wickets, none tonight. I just wonder how much of an effect his pace, had on other, the success of other bowlers in his team. He had 12 wickets himself, but as I said, the fast bowlers really dominated wicket taking for the Hobart Hurricanes. But with Lamachani coming out of quarantine, he's added a little bit more with Darcy Short in the spinning department.
I think there's no doubt about it, Brian. As you mentioned, whenever you have someone quick in your artillery, other people seem to cash in. I mean, look at Viv Richards, for example, bowling a couple of part-time spinners when, you've got Holding, Garner, Marshall. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to try and take it on, aren't you? So, yeah, they're definitely, with the inclusion of Labachane, Sundeep, it actually looks a really well-balanced side. If you bring in Riley Meredith, of course, Boland's bowling as good as he's ever done in T20 cricket. Ellis, we know how well he's been going in the death overs as well. So it's a pretty good attack that Hobart have got.
Yes. Ellis wants to have a ping. Did he get him? It's a great piece of work. He's pretty confident. Gee, he's a good athlete.
Great athlete, but I think that he's just might be in. What do you think?
It was a good dive, but Arjun looks like he thinks he didn't get there.
Well, there's a fraction of hesitation from Arjun from the non-strikers. It's going to be touch and go. I'm not sure if he'll be walking off this early.
Well, he's given it up.
He has given it up for sure. Yep. But it was I'm not sure. It was an interesting call. He looks in trouble.
Oh, yes.
Gone.
Yeah, thanks for that. Happy to make my decisions. Going to the big screen.
Great piece of work from Nathan Ellis. Hobart Hurricanes have really bowled and fielded superbly to get themselves right back in this game. 5 for 110. So Ben Cutting strides out. He's got just in excess of 5 overs to bat. When will the power surge come in? Maybe give him just an over to have a look. He's been playing superbly this tournament.
It's a good career strike rate, 146. For Ben Cutting, it's a great time for him to come to the crease. Can do some real damage, Spurs Stadium. So it's another good, successful over for the Hobart Hurricanes. A wicket, 7 off, it's 5 for 111.
Quickly, he senses a run out, grabs with one hand and throws at the same time, direct hit, and Arjanair's gone.
Amazing. This is a man who was just flexing his groin a few overs ago after a brilliant stop, and he's back on the field and bowling, and that's a superb run out for a fast bowler.
Nick Winter back into the attack.
Just another example of the run out. If you have a look at Arjanair, just at the non-strikers, it's just a fraction of hesitation. It cost him his wicket. What an amazing angle from Ellis to be able to get that angle and get some direction towards the stumps. But yeah, that's just two players that haven't played together for a period of time.
Well, and Ross's reaction, Hodgie, when you show that replay there, if you have a look at it again, instead of looking at Arjanair, have a look at Alex Ross. He can't believe that he didn't make it.
No, and that's just the communication. And that's T20. And that's why partnerships, when you get to bat with a certain player for a long period of time, you know their mannerisms, you know where their strengths are, and you also know how they run between the wickets.
So was there someone who you played with at the Australian team or state level that you thought he could turn an easy 2 into a tough 1?
There was a couple at state level for sure. Jason Armberger was one. And actually Jace always made 2s off his bat, but when it was off your bat it was a casual 1. Yes. And Nick Jewell, of course, wasn't the greatest runner between the wickets. Very good defence, good player, but not a great runner between the wickets. We always used to say that, mate. You talk your AFL footy up. How did you actually play AFL when you're so sluggish between 22 yards?
What about you, Brian? Was there someone you used to like to run between wickets with, and there was others that you were concerned about?
I was always concerned about Sean Paul.
Yeah.
He didn't like to run.
He didn't like running?
Well, he didn't get run on much. He was involved in quite a lot. He's one of those guys that I saw the stats came up. I saw your name came up as well. But he's one of those guys might have 50 run-outs and only got himself out twice.
Right.
Yeah.
That's well placed from Alex Ross to the point where he can get a couple here. So 5 of this over, 1 to come. When will the power surge come into play?
Well, it has to be soon.
Would you take it?
I'll take it straight away. Ben Cutting's had 3 balls. That's enough for him. He's got a pretty good eye. He knows what to do. And Ross, well, he's been there for long enough.
So It's just a single to round out the over. So 6 off that over. 16 overs complete. It's 5 for 117. Alex Ross striking at 110. Cutting just getting his eye in at the moment. A runner ball 3. 6 off the last over. When will the power surge come on? So the Sydney Thunder batsmen consider the power surge, haven't taken it yet for those that need a reminder there. So the power play in the past was 6 overs. In fact, they have called it now. So the power play was 6 overs in the past. That's now only 4 overs. And then these extra 2 are used at the discretion of the batting team, and they've decided to bring them in now. That means only 2 fielders outside the inner circle. So it's a big opportunity for the Sydney Thunder. 2 big overs. They'll be eyeing 30 runs in these next 2 overs.
I think teams have made a meal of this power surge, where they're trying to find the best opportunity to use it. Before, it was the 5th and 6th over, and I just feel that they find themselves in a position where they lose wickets, and all of a sudden they keep pushing it back. And I would personally think, I would tell my batsmen, simple: the 10th over is going to be try to go aggressively. I'm going to have a batsman waiting to come in, but it's 11 and 12. I'm going to take it every game. 11 to 12.
Yeah. And is that
batting first?
Right.
Yes.
Is that because you think that would then set up the back half of the innings?
Yeah, because I mean, why wait? Why find yourself in a position where if another player gets out in this power surge, you're down into the tail?
Yeah.
I'm going to take it, and maybe I have a specialist batsman who is sitting down there in the 10th over to come in if anything happens during my time with the power surge. I don't think that you should be playing hide and seek with it. When am I going to take it? Bowling teams have already earmarked bowlers for those 2 overs. Yeah. They have them. They know who are going to bowl it. Bring them forward. Yeah. If it's Rashid Khan is going to bowl it, bring him on. Let him come on in 11. Get rid of him.
Yeah.
So I think as a batting team first, I found a lot of them losing their way and not really maximising on this power surge.
It's a fair argument you've mounted there. You agree, Hodgie?
Yeah, I do actually. I reckon there's a great argument for it.
No! Bring it in early when you've got the more capable batsman involved.
Well, what you can do is actually you can promote someone like Ben Cutting, and you can use him as a floater in the order. You don't have to wait till the 17th over for him to come in, and he only gets access to 20 balls. Actually, less than 20 balls. And then the other flip side of it is we haven't actually seen batting teams first trying to manipulate the bowling unit of the opposition. So this played right into the Hurricanes' artillery, as you mentioned. Nathan Ellis was always going to bowl right now.
Yeah, that's right.
So
well played there. So he gets a couple of bounces over the rope for 4. So taking that point is what you were talking about last night. If they'd have taken it earlier on, then they would have had to push back Darcy Short and also Sandeep Labuschagne, push their overs back, because they wouldn't bowl them in the power play at, say, 11 and 12, would they?
Yeah, we were talking last night about how the Sydney Sixers made a change, made a sub, and Lloyd Pope came in. And it was a great opportunity for the batting side just to go, we'll take the power play now. And if you want to bowl Lloyd Pope in the power play, go ahead, because we're going to try and tonk him everywhere.
Yeah.
That didn't happen, and he ended up with 2 for 13 off a couple of overs.
7 off this over, 1 to go. Ben Cutting gets that, just frees his arm, but they've got one of their 2 fielders sweeping out wide. So only a couple runs there, so 9 off that over, 17 overs, 5 for 126. We're getting to know Colin Ingram, nicknamed Farmer or Bozzy. His go-to karaoke song, Cotton Eye Joe, always sits down to strap on his pads and describe Brian Lara in 10 words or less. Captivating. Loved watching him as a kid. Colin Ingram joins us on the microphone. Cole, so we haven't got to you throughout the innings a bit more. There's been too many wickets. Brian Lara's sitting in the commentary there. He's wondering, what do you mean when you were a kid?
Oh, I suppose some days I still do feel like a kid at 35, but especially after the last couple of months off at home, I can put in some great fitness work. So I've been feeling really young again, which has been nice.
Oh, it's fantastic. He was some player, BC Lara.
Oh, most definitely. I'll tell you why now.
Ross has striked that straight, lofted and gets over the rope for 6.
Good shot. I think one of the things I really enjoyed watching him was the open backlift. Growing up in South Africa, we had a lot of guys coaching sort of the English style and had a real closed face, and sort of watching him jumping into his shots and his arms being so free sort of always was always something that I wanted to do as a kid and never quite got right with the coaching style.
He was something special to watch. Can't quite get there. This is a big over for your team. You've bowled and fielded your way, Colin, right back into this game.
Yeah, it's been a great effort, to be honest. The guys have thrown themselves about, and we got some crucial wickets because, like you said, they did get off to a flyer, and the ball seemed to come off the bat really nicely, and then we've sort of come back into it nicely. So a couple of big overs for us here now, definitely. Bowling. I don't think many people even knew my name was Colin. It was just Bozy day in, day out. So.
Oh, that's fantastic. So Scott Boland's conceded 11 off this over, 2 balls to come.
Yeah, last ball, but I want to know who are you backing when I was facing Alan Donald?
I mean, those were great contests to watch. I mean, I can remember it like it was yesterday. It was obviously many moons back. I think, obviously, Alan Donald's enthusiasm for the game and the way he used to run in and just be the contest. I was definitely backing him, sorry.
Traburga, I prefer Traburga and Pollock, those guys.
Ben Cutting, brilliant down the ground. This is a huge over. So 19 off that over. We'll stay with Colin. 19 off that over, 2 overs still to come. So that was a good response from the Sydney Thunder. Still 2 overs to go here, Colin. So, hey, why you've got your childhood hero here in Brian Lara, you can ask him some questions if you like.
I mean, one of my things that, like I was saying, is that where did the open backlift come from? Because, I mean, at that stage, coaching around the world, everyone had a sort of a closed face. So that was one of the things that really stuck out for me as a kid watching you, is that you sort of the back got opened and you know, the face of that was open and that allowed your hands to operate so freely. So where did that come from?
I think it came from street cricket. We played street cricket where the guys could chuck the ball. They didn't have to bowl it into the pitch. And that soft ball was always jumping at you. So I found that I got my hands high to play. You know, they weren't like down at your ankles or knees. Playing cricket in the streets, you had to play the ball off your neck or, you know, waist high up and above. And I felt that that's where I picked up that sort of crouch and get the hands up quickly, you know, to fire it.
I love it.
Fascinating, yeah.
So Nathan Ellis.
Yeah, one.
Hey, Colin, Nathan Ellis is a ripper, isn't he? He just looks like every single delivery he tries his heart out. I know everyone tries, but he really tries.
Oh, definitely. I sat next to him on the plane on the way up here, and it was fascinating to hear his story. Up until a couple of years ago, he was working a job and, you know, wondering if he was going to, you know, get a shot at playing professional cricket. So he's got a massive height. He puts the work in, and he's a tremendous competitor. So I think, you know, often the hardship you go through at a young age and being left out of teams and having to really work your butt off, I think that's what gives him his edge right now.
Yeah, that's a really good point you make. You'll look at this wicket from where you are and you're inspecting it beforehand. What sort of total do you think your terrific batting lineup can chase down?
Oh, it's a difficult one. I mean, it's a fast outfield, and like I said, especially with the new ball, it really flew off the bat, which makes me think there's, you know, they're good boundary opportunities. But I think probably where they went wrong in the sort of middle overs, where they just sort of started, is, you know, didn't probably take advantage of the bigger outfield and knocking it around. So hopefully we can learn from that. But I think with our batting line, we can chase anything. Bold, mate.
Just a message for Nathan Ellis. Tell him that I'm pretty impressed with his efforts, the way how he goes about his business. I think he's a true professional. And then anytime he wants to come to the CPL, I mean, you can put him in your suitcase. You've been out there.
Oh, 100%. I think, like I said, it just seems to, whenever he's got the ball in hand, he's 100%. And I think that's what you need in this day and age, bowling right at the death. You know, it's kind of me or you type of scenario. So, you know, you need that grit and attitude.
Always bowl well there. Well, Cole, you've got a big surprise for him. You can break that news in the innings break that Brian Lara's offered him a gig.
He's a massive personality, so I'll probably have to get a slightly bigger suitcase to get him in there as well.
Good on you, Colin. Hey, good luck tonight with the bat.
Cheers, thanks so much.
Colin Ingram, great to have a chat to one of the big personalities of world cricket. Travels around the world now. You like him, Hodgie, the bulldozer?
Yeah, I do like the way the bulldozer goes about his work.
So Ben Cutting, 2 deliveries here. This partnership is 38 off 23. Can they get it over Can they get it near 170? Well, that'll help. Ben Cutting likes the look of that. It's a long way out there. 2 bounces into the rope.
It's not quite sure he's got the right field there, Nathan Ellis. Just 2 out on the onside. And his strength is bowling out the stumps with slow balls, and that's right in the arc of Ben Cutting. If you're looking for anything short that is a slow ball that we've seen him hoik over there, that's a good example. And of course, Nathan Ellis, who comes in close to the stumps, it's going to be hard for him to bowl wide Yorkers, so you need protection on the onside. Bang.
He likes that one even more. That has gone way back. And all the crowd do is look up. Huge 6 from Ben Cutting. And that over now goes for 13. They've got their eye on 170 here. 1 over to go. 5 for 158. Ben Cutting, 29 off 13 at a strike rate of 223. Is trying to drive the Thunder to 170. Give them a total they can really bowl at. We know that the average winning score here at the Perth Stadium, batting first, is in excess of 180.
Such a surprise to me that he got left out of the Heat unit. I know we've seen a few on-field stoushes, and that might be something in the back scenes, but
he did have a softer tournament last tournament. It seems like that stung him into action, to be fair.
Yeah, well, that's the art of coaching, right? Or that's the art of leadership, to be able to get the best out of him. So, you know, there's 14 games of opportunities to get the best out of your leaders. And it's one thing that Heat haven't been good at. Maybe he was in that notion of leadership that didn't stand up when counted. But I've been impressed with what he's done at the Thunder. You can see that there was a bit of ambition and sterliness about his efforts to come to the Thunder. And what he's done is complement this side. You have a look at this. That's right in the zone. 83k is in and 139 out. Stares it down too, loves it. Channel 7's own Erin will love that one too. Should have been chanting on with the green.
Should have had her visor on, giving that a big cheer. So, can Ross hammer it? Scotty Boland straight. Well, our cameraman says that's gone so high, I can't even find it.
That's a monster. I'll tell you what, there's one thing about this Perth Stadium, or any stadium in Perth, whether it be the Wacker or even Lilac Hill, is when you miss by the smallest of margin, it just gives you a beautiful swing of the arc, and the ball just sort of bounces a fraction higher onto your middle of the bat, and you can get great elevation. That hasn't missed a Yorker by much. You can see Ross deep in the crease, which gave him the opportunity to get under it right in the slot, and it just makes a fantastic sound off the bat when you get it.
You've got to give it to Alex Ross. He has missed about 5 games from memory since his hamstring injury, and he's come out and he's been a really big contributor here. This partnership's 54 off 28 now. He's got 43 off 31.
Yeah, he has. He started the tournament 18 off 15 versus Stars, and 34 off 24. That 34 was about a run of ball, so he hadn't quite get going. Oh, this is what he can do. This is what the Thunder need from him at the back end. Oh, bold. The old duck hook.
All this is going on. Ben Cutting sitting down the other end. Saying,
but what about the...
What about me?
Yeah, you'd like to get at least one in this over. But replacing both and just sort of limiting your bowling attack. And, when he came off in the 10th over, they picked like 3 wickets. The 7th, 8th and 9th over all went to spin. Not sure if that was the best decision.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it, Brian? You're spot on. Your variety in your attack is critical. And even if it's just for 1 over. Because when you bring someone in like Mac Wright, you have to think, what impact's he going to have in the game? Like Bota, with ball, could have had an impact. He's good in the field, but also with the bat. So there's 3 opportunities for him to express himself. Mac Wright only has 2 with the bat. And where he's going to bat is also important. So he's going to be needed. They're going to be chasing, well, could be 165, could be 171, whatever it may be. But batting in the day in Perth is a lot more attractive than batting at night.
So they think of 2. Of course, they've got to go for 2, and they will make it. So 167 the score for the Sydney Thunder. So 170 subpar score for them. They'll be a little disappointed. Just lost their way from over 5 through to 10. But a really terrific finish in the end to get to 167 off their 20 overs. 9 off that last over. And Scotty Boland ended up being expensive at no wicket for 48. Usman Khawaja 49 off 33. Alex Ross a beauty, 44 not out. Good to see him back out there off 33. And Ben Cutting Only faced 14 deliveries and one big six, and strike rate of 221 for his 31 not out. So stay with us. Sydney Thunder will try to defend the fight.
Yes, sir. Good bowling, good bowling. Bola bola bola. Cara de puro bola. Bola 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 false. Bola muito margal. Yes. Ready. गाली डवारे बारे खाली रखते थे बाउंड्री वाले लोग आजू बाजू बाउंड्री वाले तो ना हमारे के लोनी अपना तो नहीं मिल और टाइम दो अगर रेगुलर बैट्समैन तो खेलतो पर खेलतो केमने उड़े बोल देखছো दुनिया है केवल आजके আজকে দুই ওভার খেলে বল কিন্তু হাফ বলি ছিল চলানি বিলিয়ার হলো ইলিয়াস আর এই মুদি বেগর ওপেনিং এই তো বল ভাইয়া এটাই আরেকটা করো একটা বড় উঠবো ওদের আউট থেকে দেখো স্কয়ারে আমরা সিটোটা গালি দেবো যাবে নাকি বলার तो कम नहीं देखी हां बैट धोरे के नहीं दोगी अरे फुट बॉलिंग हेड टू गो हेड टू गो हेड धान को तो भैया गुड बॉलिंग राजेश উচ্চজনে তো বড় মনে হইতেছে ব্যাটলে বড় জায়গা দাম কম হয়ে গেছে 30টা মারতো না তো ব্যাকআপ নিও আমি ইজি এসে নেওয়ার কিছু নাই রতনটা কাল লো লাউ 2 সেক্টর লো লাউছে दो सेक्टर लो लाओ और बॉलिंग भाई को कीपर कोई सिंगल चेक दस नंबर बेलेर अनेक कौन धरे खेलते भैया 10 नंबर लो लाओ बॉलिंग अरे भाई फील्डिंग मिस कर लो वो প্রত্যেকটা দিন রতন এরম করে করে লুজ বল দিব আর 6 খাইবো হুদাই তাই তাই বানানোর জন্য দেওয়া হয়েছে হ্যাঁ দিবে বৃহস্পতিবার হ্যাঁ সার্কিট না ইয়াতে এগ্রিভার্সিটি ওটা কি ছক্কা হয়েছিল মারতে না তারা কি বলবো মারার মতো রান থাকলে না মারবো। কোথায় গেল? তো বাসটা দেখতে সুন্দর খেলায় খেলাটা ডাল বানায়। আরে আচ্ছা সবাই মিশে রান্না কেমন পছন্দ? হ্যাঁ বেড়া 29 ওভার ভিতরে ছয় মিনিট 29 যারা ভালো খেললে যাচ্ছে মাঠে এই প্লেয়ারটি লাগছে না অনেক কোনো মানে আগে বল মিস্ত্রিরা করে লাগছে এরাই প্রথম সিঙ্গেল নতুন বেসবে না এবারে লাগছে না মধ্যে চেটে মারবো না খায় দু চেটে মারি দিল খেলা দেখবো দিবুর কোনো সময় নামতো না খেলার কন্ডিশন বুঝে যাবো রান দরকার নাম 3 ওভার খেলবো খেলা নাকি 3 ওভারে খেলা খেললে 3 ওভারে খেলা করে আসছি আমি খেলতাম না 16 ওভারে ব্যাট বল আইলেছে নতুন একটা ব্যস্ত নাই কি ব্যাট বল বলবো বল যে খেলে পায়ে লাগছে পায়ে একটা ব্যাটসম্যান খেলা পারবো না কারে কারণ নিজে জানতাম না একটা ব্যাটসম্যান থেকে ফার্স্ট ভালো ওরা তোরা বোলিং তো করবো আজি হবে হবে লয়ে লাও বন্ধু লয়ে লাও এটা লয়ে লাও মুঙ্গি লাভ করো না খেলার মধ্যে খেপ কাল টেসার না এক সময় আমরা খেলছি বুড়ি বুড়ি হয়ে গেছে দেখে যাই পাই না গুরুত্ব দিবা এই তো করছে প্লেয়ার আনছে গুরুত্ব না দিয়ে আনছে আমার প্লেয়ার পাচ্ছি না খেলে বা বল দেখে খেলে ব্যাটিং করা হয়েছে না কি করবে এই বলটা দিতে বলো এটা করো ভাই এটা করো এটা করো লাল লাগে 20 রান লাগে রাজেশ 20 লাগে হেলাটো উইকেট গেলে পাবেন না এত উৎসাহ দেওয়া পাইতেছি না সবাই হেল্প হয়ে গেছে তার মতো ছিল না প্রথম দিনে রতন হয়েছে মনে করো 5টা বল খেলবে একটা বারান্দার বাইকে লাস্টে তোমার আর যদি ওপেনিং বালা খেললেই খেলা তাহলে তো কোনো কথাই নাই যে কোনো বলার সিঙ্গেল খেলাম তো আমি আরো হলে তোমার রান গোল বল হলে তোমার রান কত ওভার আসছে না গেল এই না মুগ্গা বেশি প্রপার খেলোয়াড় খেলা আছে খেলা আছে খেলা আছে ভাইয়া একটা উইকেট ভাইয়া করে একটা ওপেনিং ব্যাটসম্যান নাম এত বল তুলছে হ্যাঁ পূর্ব সময়টা हाँ ये बोला साइड चलता है वो चला सिंह तो हाँ 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 आ रहे थे पूरे कर लो अगर आ रहे थे चार छोटे बोरा बने बॉलिंग राजीव भाई आ रहे छोटे बोरा बना है कोता ना ना तो बाहर टेरिटोरी तो पड़े यार आ रहा है ये अगर आ रहे थे टाका ना তুমি তো বড় যে মামি সিং তো বড় মামি সিং পাঠাও এলে গাড়ি না আমি যে খেলা শেষ হয়ে দেবো তারপর তো ওরা তো যাবো এই যেমন পর খেলা প্রায় শেষ চলে যাবো उदय गोल राइट चल रहा है दिल लगा आउट यार आउट अरे टेलो वही छे गुड गुड बड़ा क्लियर है जाती आईडिया रे मेरे पास कोटिंग से खेल सिल्वर का लेको क्लियर अंत समझ लो फास्ट तो क्लियर कर दी खेला करता पूरा लगा भाई लाइन में चलो अस्सलाम वालेकुम
gurigii baanu maxbuus ku noqonay xadkan shakiga miirana oo maxaamir qiiri ah maxaa nala soo dejiyey bidhaantiisi xitaa ma muuqato aan leelahay kabahayga aan qaato aan ka gaarsiiyo axadku intuu soo toosin warkaadidii uu nagu dhejiyey bal wuxuu ka waardiyeynayaa waa wax cuquba ku dhacday afrika oo dhanba way ka badan tahay qoftaani
adiga safiya buuraa maxay tahay saaka sharqantan siyaadada maxaa jira waayo wax meesha wax ka shushumanayo ka dhururanaya biyaha
waraanaha biyahan kusoo mayrta shumanaya iga daqeylada axad yahow kadeed badanaa wax
maxaanu ka garanaynaa waxa sharqamaya inta wuxuunbaa isdhaafayo gurigee
yaa mar hore xirtay suuriga jarmaado dheeraa wuxu
war waa qoftii madaxda ahayd wixii darnaa baan kuu qabay buubihiiba waxay gaareen go-a ii soo furulaalay
naa wuxu af adag kaa war maxaa ku hadlaysa mana go-aya ku siiya
aynahadeer ay fahno hoos u hadal anu qaawan haddaan soo baxo taagnaan maysi meesha
warraba bala ku qaawisay
كان والله واقع شوتسي
والله ديارتك عيب حشد والله قاعد على واي داخل بدنا ما ماشي هو دشي احد يهو
حاجه ku qadimantahay anagu bil aadan baan nahay computer manayna gal meesha daglaysid anaan badnida si lagu haysan jiray
laga leexa
anagu ka leexanay adigii baa tiradii ka bato wadanka oo dhan maray waxa inta la eegnin ba hadda uqab inay ka dhamaanayso afrika oo dhan ba waa ka badan tahay bal wuxuu la fakaraya meel fadhiya fiir يا دبك كويس maxaad naga fiirinaysaa anaga hadal de maxaa noo ka muuqdo maxaa naga eegaysaa ma indhaha dadka ku dishaa
tug la kalaan la arag jawaabteeda ficil baad u helaysaa adeer ballo waxaan ku qaaday dhulka inaad qaban weydaa
saabaloon dhibaato haysata axadkii ma la xarooda maradaydii warbaartayga xunka ay soo saaray iga hadlayna wariya
amrita ceeb lagu masootiyo hoogo aaga nacaayna maxaa noo ka daynaa go hogaa haday kiibaa taagani kaadi haday baan baqsaday indhahan ku cadaynay wari adiga kaalmo waxa jirka naga adkaan jira odayna soo fiirinaya maxaa naga eegaysaa aniga
in it. The day game, it's hard to know with the whole day game scenario, but I just thought at this moment, I think Bondi felt like with the lefties they had, being Arjun.
Yeah, just on Arjun there, Usman, just talk me through the process of him open to bowling instead of Green. We've seen Green do it for a number of years and be successful in the power play. What was the process of Arjun getting the nod to bowl to Darcy Short?
One second. He He bowled in the semi-finals, I'm pretty sure, last year, or quarterfinals last year, and got Darcy Short out first over. So I think we just like that matchup and try and do it again. So if we get something, obviously it didn't work out, but Archie's a pretty good bowler. I'm on the mic, mate, sorry. You don't take those calculated risks, you just don't score runs, so it's just hit and miss sometimes.
The other thing, Uzi, is that you look like you've got extra batting depth this year compared to last year, so you can afford to be a fraction more aggressive in your mindset. You know, with Ben Cutting down the bottom, Daniel Sams has been
involved in Thunder teams for a long time. It's been unbelievable. It makes it really easy for the top order to play with a lot more freedom. Something we haven't had in Thunder for a long time, so it's been a lot of fun.
Good on you, Uzi. Chat to you soon. None for 22. Thunder got off to a fly. They were no wicket for 36 at the same time, no wicket for 22 for the Hurricanes, but they are right on the required run rate they need. Started at 8.4, it's just moved a touch to 8.59 at the moment. 22 off 19, the punch. Chris Green into the attack, as though they were listening to you, Hodgie. Get him in the fourth over, the final over of this power play. Isn't it interesting? There's Usman Khawaja, so experienced, 44 tests for Australia. New rule comes in and the power surge, and says openly, we still forget, we don't know.
It's mind-boggling, actually.
No, but we felt that, haven't we, when we've been sitting here? We're going, I think they've completely forgotten it.
Yeah. Which brings Brian's idea of just locking it in at 11 and 12.
Wait. Oh, the other idea as well is that halfway mark point as well.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably not on the forefront of the player's mind as well, but... Yeah, interesting, Usman. I'd be definitely, if I got around the 8 and 9 mark over and felt myself on 30 not out, I'd be thinking, another 2 overs, I'm taking it for sure. Yeah.
One thing, I was talking to one of our stats guys here in studio, and we were kind of discussing about the power play, the power surge, and I think we should probably, and we'll do a graphic maybe in the next week or so, about if you take it early, teams that are doing that are actually not winning games of cricket. Those that are taking it a little bit later are the ones that are coming away with the points. So, at the start it was all about how do teams tackle it, what are the tactics around it. Now we're starting to see a pattern emerge around the power surge and when is the most effective time.
It'll be interesting data when that's all comes to light to see actually when is the most successful time to take the power surge.
Well, what I'd like to see now is if you have an X factor, use that in the power surge. So don't have anyone else. If you've got another player padded up, you know, for example, Mac Wright, as soon as they're going to take that power surge, should be padded up and saying you're in, and you've got whatever 6 balls to swing like a rusty gate and have an impact.
Interesting. So Chris Green's done a good job early. Darcy Short gets inside the line and whips him off his hip. It's gone far enough for 6.
Yeah, smart play, really. Saw that fine leg was up inside the inner circle, and all he had to do was get the ball onto his pad, so by coming on the inside line of it, could free his arms and... Yeah, 6. I went early with the call, didn't I?
Umpire Stalaker rarely gets it wrong.
I was just panicking that I just gave you the wrong call there.
It's amazing with Darcy Short. You think that he's usually vulnerable against spin, but so far this year, of the 122 runs he's made, striking at 150 against spin. So we've seen teams throw spin at him, but he's been able to combat that. And it's the pace which he struggled with, only striking at 106.
I think it's the perception of when he went and played in the IPL. I think the bounce here in Australia, that spinners don't get as much side turn, and there's more bounce for him still to play his natural game.
Last ball of the over from Chris Green. Gives himself room, and this time hammers it on the offside for 4. Maybe tonight is the night for Darcy Short to get his season back on track. No wicket for 35-13 off the over. Darcy Short at 126, McDermott striking at 166. No wicket for 35 after 4. Double header tonight. We make our way from Perth up to Metricon Stadium in the Gold Coast for the Melbourne Stars versus the Brisbane Heat. Darren Lehman and James Hope's discussing the Brisbane Heat. They've got a little roll on at the moment.
Well, Ralph Harris comes back in for the Melbourne Stars.
There's a big in.
Massive in.
There's big Nathan McAndrew. Well placed.
It's been impressive, McAndrew. He's actually grown as a player this year, there's no doubt. Got better and better. I think it's one of those players where when he first came in, probably didn't quite know what he was doing, what he was capable of, and he's rolling this side.
It looks like he's grown. Like he's physically a huge unit.
Yeah, he is.
He probably has.
Cut.
And if you look at those numbers, look at that economy rate. A few of those overs have been bowled in the power surge and a lot in the power play. So,
he just gets onto him too quick and gets the wicket. He continues his trend. Every game he's played, he's got a wicket. And that was huge because he's got Darcy Short. It just rushed on him.
Yeah, just talking about his capabilities and his change of paces, and that's a real good example of an effort ball banged in on a good length. Hurried up Darcy Short, is a fantastic hooker and puller. And you mentioned his effect, Nathan McAndrew, for this Sydney Thunder side this year has been immense. Darcy Short looked good for his 19. Sydney Thunder 1 for 36.
Darwin Milan makes his way out. He's already made an impact in this tournament. And with his 75 off 56 versus the Melbourne Stars, such a dynamic player, a gun player in T20 format all around the world.
Just a smart cricketer who's figured out his strengths and his weaknesses when it comes to T20 cricket. He's not someone that bullies the ball over the boundary rope. He plays good cricket shots, and like a true Englishman, just plays behind the wicket keeper in those funky laps.
And it'll take a little bit of time to get used to this pace and bounce to this surface as well. As we have a look at Darcy Short, who was just hurried up, knew he was in all sorts of trouble as soon as he shanked that one to the skipper. Good bowling, McAndrew. It's been an important part of this bowling unit with Milne, who's got some pace, Daniel Sam's pace and variations with left arm and a good variety of spin. This is why they've been a good side so far. Sydney Thunder, they've been backing up their batting with good bowling. Darwin Milan, you mentioned him, Lise, about being quite elegant and quite traditional, I suppose. And him and James Vince are probably the two which just go about their fashion, trusting their techniques and their skills, and just put bad balls away with no fuss whatsoever. And it's a real trick. It's a real good skill just to be able to trust your instincts and back your ability to have an effect, and they do it extremely well.
Rewarded with 6, but he's living dangerously.
Yeah, it was well bowled and not far away as well. As Alex Ross out on the boundary, and he was in off the boundary rope, just eyeing where the rope was. And yeah, if only he was actually on it and he was charging in, he would have been able to potentially, like it got McDermott on the back pad. You could tell by the way that they were appealing that they thought it was absolutely plumb. And maybe nip back a little bit. And because it was the back pad, everyone gets excited. The umpire agrees with McAndrew, so McDermott goes for 22. Hurricanes now 2 for 43.
That's a good start to his campaign tonight. Just 7 off it. Sydney Thunder, 250.
Couple of juniors there from the Canning Vale Junior Cricket Club, and they've got smiles on their faces because 6 sixes have been hit already today, and Toyota are donating $500 to that cricket club for every 6. So $3,000 going to the cricket club, which is awesome. They're desperate to try to get some new equipment, upgrade their training facilities. Got a great junior program, so we're hoping that the 3,000 is only the start, that there's many more to come. Got the right man in there with David Milan. Hopefully he can get in and then start to launch a few.
Yeah, maybe.
Another good piece of captaincy as well. Calvin Ferguson bringing Arjun Nair back into the attack. Well, the first one didn't look that effective, but when you have someone that hasn't seen you before and you've got a couple of tricks as a spinner, great to get him on early when, you know, Handsome's only 2 off 2, Milan 6 off 8, still trying to find your way. So good captaincy, good opportunity for Arjun there. Yeah, I was just thinking, guys and girls, which team Abby's supporting there today? She had the orange shirt on last night, started the Mexican wave.
That's right.
About 9:30 last night.
She's a proud Perth girl, but she calls Sydney home, so she was in the Hobart Hub, so she's divided. Yeah, she's divided. But I think she's be a Thunder girl tonight. We
Actually,
haven't
let's
heard
ask
from
her.
her.
Yeah.
Is she still with us?
Well, that's why I was just curious, because as I said, about 9:30 last night, she started the Mexican wave at the Perth Stadium and got the crowd going. Saw Mitch Marsh started to bang a few into the crowd, and that was it.
I think she's gone home.
She might have gone home.
This is one of the things Arjun Nair likes to do. He likes to bowl over the wicket because he has got the carom ball which comes back into the left-hander. But I would like to see him go around the wicket, try and pitch it on middle and off stump, trying to spin the ball away from the left-hander and then bring that one back in, you know.
Oh, it's brilliant, this, mate.
It's the carom ball there from Arjun there, the one that spins away from the right hand.
I mean, I'm used to you guys sledging me when I'm at least within a vicinity, but you're just throwing long bombs. It's unnecessary, is my argument. It's actually unnecessary.
No, it's necessary.
We just wondered if you were still with us.
And we just
Of course
wanted you
I
to
am.
feel
Where
part
else
of the
would I be?
family.
G'day.
Oh, hello. Nice mask.
Bold.
Thanks, Boundary
It's
Ride.
very effective on your chin, actually. So. I'm going to leave that there.
End of the over. Thank you, Abs. 5 off that over. 7 overs. 2 for 55.
7 overs now. 2 for 55.
For 55 off 7. Same time the Thunder was 1 for 65. The Thunder went through a period overs 8, 10 and 11, where they struggled, only scored 4, 2, 3 and 5 in those overs. So Hurricanes are well and truly in this game. Ben Cutting. I've seen Ben Cutting being used one over here and there, occasionally two.
Who's Tim? Is there a Tim in the building?
I don't know. Wherever Tim is, please marry that man. Could be Tim David from the Hurricanes. Are there any other Tims out there?
Not that I'm aware of.
Tim that we've got. Don't know if he was using the sign for himself or the lovely lady next to him. But anyway, it's a shout out.
All I know is that Tim David, the way he has been banging the ball all around the park, that is marginally attractive for sure.
Certainly is. He's going to be a big factor tonight.
Huge factor. This is one other thing which Ben Cutting has brought to the side for the Sydney Thunder. He's given an opportunity for a six bowler. Lid.
Making sure he was okay, so we need to take that off and check the helmet.
Well, he is a tall guy, isn't he? He bowls this one into the pitch. And he was through his shot already.
Just took it.
Just looked like a decked in towards him off the surface. Just caught him by surprise. It's only 121 kilometres an hour.
It wasn't quick, wasn't it?
Just looked like it darted back in towards David Milan. Just at the last minute.
ভাইয়া বল অপশনে রাখো।
Balik. Kita kan? সমস্যা নাই, ভালো বল হইতেছে ভাইয়া। ওভারটা উইকেট হবো, উইকেট। আলসা বিল্ডার আগে মুভ করে নাই, হবে আবার হবে। এই তো গেছে বন্ধু, গুড বোলিং। আমার ধ্যাগর একটা খেলতে করো। শাবাশ গুড কিপ। আচ্ছা, বলার বেশি ভালো এবার ব্যাটিং লুজ হয়ে গেছে। ব্যাটিং অর্ডার ঠিক হচ্ছে না, ক্লিয়ার তো ভালো হয়। যারা আইসে ওরা একটু দেখে খেলবে। আগে একটু খেলানোর টাইম দেওয়া দিচ্ছে, যে তারা মাঠে করে স্টেম করলে পেলাম না, 1 কে লাগবো। নিজে ভিডিও করে পরে তো করে দেওয়া যাবে, পরে দেওয়া যাবে, পরে মাঝখানে ক্লোজ। যাবো গুড বলে গালিটা বারে খালি রাখতেছে। বাউন্ডারি আজও বাউন্ডারি করতেছে না, মার গেল উনি একলা। আমরাও করছি, তারপর ব্যাটসম্যান তো নাই, নিয়ে গেলাম তো না, ওর টাইম দেওয়া দরকার ছিল। রেগুলার ব্যাটসম্যান একটু খেলতো, পরে আর খেলতো। কেমনে উঠে বল দেখছো, আসছে বল কিন্তু হাফ বলেছিল। Kalani Villarolo Ilias, are the Moody River opening. Right the ball, Baya, Eda. Larry decoration would go. Would you out the first carry? I'm not prepared at the reality. Bowler! Ajay, good bowling. Head to go. Head to go. Batsman जाते वाला राजेश वो बॉलिंग बोल रे बाबर बैट्समैन भैया आवाज तो कोई नहीं हल्के बोल ये दरो बॉलिंग आजी भाई बॉलिंग कौन चलता चलो लाओ ऐसा का राम को तो भैया गुड बॉलिंग राजेश 29 तो बड़ा मन होते से बैठले वहां जाएगा काम कम होएगा 30 टा मत तो न तो बैकअप नहीं हो मैं इजी ऐसा नहीं और की सुनाई नहीं रतन कर लो लाओ 2 सेक्टर लो लाओ से दो सेक्टर लो लाओ और बॉलिंग भाई को कीपर कोई सिंगल चेक कर भाई 10 नंबर बेलेरो ने कौन दूर खेलता से भैया 10 नंबर लो लाओ बॉलिंग अरे भाई फील्डिंग इसको लो वो প্রত্যেকটা দিন রতন এরম করে করে লুজ বল দিব আর 6 খাইব হুদাই তাই তাই বানানোর জন্য দেওয়া হয়েছে হ্যাঁ দিবে বৃহস্পতিবারে হ্যাঁ সার্কিট না ইয়াতে এগ্রিভার্সিটি ওটা কি ছক্কা হয়েছিল মারতে তারা কি বলবো মারার মতো রান থাকলে না মারবো উড়াই গেল তো বাচ্চা সুন্দর খেলায় খেলাটা ডাল বানাই আরে আচ্ছা সবাই মিশে রান্না কেমন পছন্দ হ্যাঁ বেড়া 29 ওভার ভিতরে ছয় যারা ভালো খেললেই যাচ্ছে মাঠে এই প্লেয়ারটির লাগছে না মানে কোনো মানে আগে বল মিস্ত্রিরা শরীর লাগছে এরাই প্রথম নতুন বেসবো না এবারে লাস্টের মধ্যে 2 মারবো না আরাম খায় 2 মারি দিবি দীপুর খেলা দেখবো দীপুর কোনো সময় নামতো না খেলার কন্ডিশন বুঝে যাবো রান দরকার নাম 3 ওভার খেলবো খেলা 3 ওভারে খেলা খেললে 3 ওভারে খেলা করে আসছি আমি খেলতাম না 16 ওভারে হ্যাঁ ও আছে রান করতে ব্যাট বল আইলেছে নতুন একটা ব্যবসা নাই কি ব্যাট বল বলবো বল যে খেললে পায়ে লাগছে পায়ে একটা ব্যাটসম্যান খেলা পারবো না কারে কারণ দেখতাম একটা ব্যাটসম্যান থেকে ফার্স্ট ভালো ওরা তোরা বোলিং তো করবো রাজীব হবে হবে লয়ে এলাও বন্ধু লয়ে এলাও এটা লয়ে এলাও বন্ধু লাভ করো না খেলার মধ্যে খেপ কাল টেয়া করো না এক সময় আমরা খেলছি বুড়ি বুড়ি হয়ে গেছে দিকে যাই ভাই না গুরুত্ব দিবা এই তো করছে প্লেয়ার আনছে গুরুত্ব না দিয়ে আনছে আমার প্লেয়ার পাচ্ছে নাই খেলে বা বল দেখে খেলে ব্যাটিং করা হয়েছে না কি করবে এই বলটা দিতে বলো এটা করো ভাই এটা করো এটা করো লাল লাগে 20 রান লাগে রাজেশ 20 লাগে এলাটো উইকেট গেলে পাবেন না এত চাপ দেওয়া পাইতেছি না আপাতত সবাই এলসে হয়ে গেছে আগের মতো ছিল না প্রথম যদি নেই মনে করো বাঁচতে বলছিল একটা বারান্দার বাইকে আরে আমি আপনি নামায় নাম দেখি লাস্টে তোমার জন্য তোমার একটা কাজ আছে আর যদি ওপেনিং বালা খেললেই খেলা তাহলে তো কোনো কথাই নাই যে কোনো বলার খেলাম তো আমি আরো হলে তোমার রান রোজ বল হলে তোমার রান কত মারি আসছে না গেল Inamuga, Becky Proper Kelua. Kelase. Bhaiya, একটা উইকেট ভাইয়া করে একটা ওপেনিং ব্যাটসম্যান নাম এত বল তুলছে বলতো হ্যাঁ পুরো সময়টায় হ্যাঁ এই যে বুলা সাইডে চলতেছে আমার খেলা আছে কাউ হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ আড়াইটা করে কাটবো আড়াইশো টাকা পরে মনে আড়াইশো টাকা পরে মনে হয় এরকম করার কথা না তো বাইরে টেরিটরিতে পাঠাইলে আর 1000 টাকা করে কাটবো টাকা না তুমি তো বড় যে মামি সিং বড় মামি সিং পাঠাও এলে কাটে না আমি যে খেলা শেষ হয়ে দেবো তারপর তো ওরাতে যাবো এই যেমন পর খেলা প্রায় শেষ চলে যাবো भाई सुना अरे क्वार्टर फाइनल खेलता उदय गोल राइट चल रहा आउट अरे टेलो वैसे गुड बड़ा क्लियर है चार्ज जाती आईडिया रे मेरे सारा सपोर्ट से खेल सिल्वर का लेको क्लियर अंत समझ लो फर्स्ट से क्लियर कर दी ये कर करते बड़ा दो खेला करता बुरा लगा भाई
Assalamualaikum. Hey, beda.